You dropped Kill Time recently, and a lot of people took it as a Slim Jesus diss. Now, is it a diss or is it not a diss?
Nah, it ain't a diss. It's just me stating facts, like letting you know, like that ain't something that we honor. Like we don't joke about that. Like we done lost homies over that shit. So it just letting you know I'm stating facts.
When you first saw the Slim Jesus video, what'd you think?
Like when I first saw the video, I ain't really like it because it was like he was joking about the situation.
When you first saw it, did you think that he was really active, or did you think that all this was made up?
Like when I first saw it, I thought all of it was made up. Like because when the video come on, it lets you know that ain't real guns in there, it's pop guns in there. So like when I first saw it, I knew it was made up.
Okay, because you know, certain people thought it was real. For me, I wasn't quite sure. Like I was kind of 50-50, but for example, there's a real OG West Coast rapper out here in Cali named Mitchie Slick. He even tweeted, he said, yo, I thought that Slim Jesus was active for real, but then when I seen that Vlad TV interview, I realized that it was something else. So I think that certain people thought that it was real. You know, at the end of the day, a lot of people are good storytellers, and you know, there's a lot of good rappers out there who create stories. It doesn't necessarily mean they're doing it, but honestly, when I first saw it, I wasn't quite sure. So, but you knew 100% that when you first saw it, it was all made up.
Yeah, when I first saw it, yeah, I knew that. Yeah, it was all made up.
Okay, did you watch the Vlad TV interview?
No, I ain't watched the Vlad TV interview, but like I heard like something about it, like him saying that like. He just doing that cause like that's the music he like to listen to, all that. But like if you ain't around it, like if they ain't what they doing where you from, like you shouldn't talk about it.
I did the interview with him, and he basically said that he doesn't have a criminal record. He's never really been around this type of stuff, but he's a fan of drill music. So because he's a fan, he raps like that because I think he's like, you know, that shit is hot.
That shit's dope. If I rapped about driving around in a fucking car and like fucking listening to country music, nobody would give a fuck about that shit. Like, I make music about some shit because it sound cool. Like, I like making music. I make cool music.
Like, if that case, then stay a fan of it, like, and let the ones who are around there and who live it tell a story about it.
I mean, does it bother you that he rapping about it?
Like that, like it did when I heard it. That's why I had put out the freestyle Kill Time.
I'm familiar with BMF because in order to wear a BMF chain, that signifies a big deal right there. I've hung out with Big Meech at his house before. I've interviewed Blue Da Vinci. I've interviewed Jay Diggs. So I'm familiar with the whole BMF thing. So where you come from, it's a very established kind of thing. So do you really feel like in order to rap like that, you gotta be coming from that type of background?
Yeah, like if like to order you to rap about it, like you have to like where you from, like your neighborhood you from gotta like they gotta be doing like that out there. Like they gotta be doing that out there. Like you can't just be rapping about it and like if you ain't like where you from, they ain't where they doing it. Like they ain't nothing people joke about. Like people that lost like they homies over that shit, so like they ain't nothing to joke about.
For example, like how old are you right now?
16.
Okay. So how many friends have you lost to violence up to this point?
Altogether, I'd say probably like 7. Probably not even 10, probably almost. I ain't lose that many homies.
Yeah, I mean, in the interview, me and him kind of talked about that whole thing. And what I said was, I've interviewed people like Big Low, for example. People who come from that life in Chicago. I interviewed Big Low 2 days before he got killed. And what I said was, when you rap about this type of thing, there's the possibility that you attract that type of energy to you, and people are gonna test you on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the position that you putting yourself in, rapping about, like you gotta like know like what's gonna come. Like as you rapping about, like what's gonna come after that. You gotta be prepared for it.
We put out the interview. It got like 2 million views in a week. It was one of our fastest growing interviews ever. And what I noticed was most of the people that were responding in the comments were actually, they didn't mind that the lyrics weren't real. They actually were applauding Slim Jesus for being honest. What do you think about that?
What I think about that, like, is there's a lot of people that's confused too about situations, cause like they don't know what's real and they don't know what's fake.
Do you feel that you should only be talking about that if you lived it, or can you just say it's music and motherfuckers gonna be making up some shit every so often because it's music?
Like, I feel like that you should only talk about it like if you are like if where you from, that's where they do it at, or like if you yourself doing it.
So, for example, Ice Cube from NWA, he was one of the biggest gangster rappers of the 90s. And you found out later on that Ice Cube wasn't really doing all that shit. He wasn't shooting people, he wasn't gangbanging. And a lot of his lyrics were about gangbanging. Do you feel that if Ice Cube could do it, Slim Jesus could do it, and anyone could do it?
No, I don't feel that way, cause it ain't no comparison between them two. Cause like it ain't no comparison, cause like they from two different places. Like Ice Cube, like the neighborhood he was from, I'm sure like they had like what he was rapping about over there to make him rap about the situation. And Slim Jesus on the other hand, it ain't the same thing.
Do you think a lot of people are fucking with Slim Jesus because he's white?
Like, I don't really know. Like some people probably messing with it because they like the song. Some people probably messing with him because that.
You've had some Chicago dudes that have been co-signing Slim Jesus. I know that Lil Bibby went on Twitter and shouted him out. Montana from 300 is supposed to be doing a song with him. And I think Chief Keef shouted him out. He actually opened up for Chief Keef in a show in LA.
Like me, how I feel like you gotta like get a stamp from people like that in Chicago, like right now to this day.
From your definition, because you're talking about, one of the things you were talking about in Kill Time was drill music, right? And you say, why you drill rapping, you ain't from here. So from your definition, what is drill music?
Like drill music, like the artists that rap drill music, like me, Katie Got Band, King Louis, Lil Herb, G Keith, and like them artists right there, like the music that we make, that's drill music right there.
What makes drill music different from other Chicago hip hop?
Like, cause like the lyrics and like what you talking about in the song is different. It's like it's real Chicago street shit. Like it's like what's really going on in Chicago.
Is it possible to make drill music if you're not from Chicago?
Yeah, like it's possible to make drill music in Chicago, like wherever like that's going on there. Like if you from like wherever you from, if it ain't going on there, then it ain't possible to make.
Do you know any artists outside of Chicago who you feel make authentic drill music?
Nah, not really. I don't really know none.
Like Charged Up was decent, it had some bars in it. Back to Back is a tough diss record. I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
The beat is not that hard.
What?
The Charged Up, I mean, the back-to-back beat really could have been a lot better.
Yeah, but in the club it goes. And I tell y'all all the time, the greatest diss records in the world are the ones that play in the club.
That shit's dope. If I rapped about driving around in a fucking car and like fucking listening to country music, nobody would give a fuck about that shit. Like, I make music about some shit because it sound cool. Like, I like making music. I make cool music.